Hello friends and welcome to gusmcdollgames. My name is Nick McDoll and today we are launching the first mission in the new Jersey Blockade campaign of Naval War Arctic Circle. This campaign is loosely based on the Jersey Blockade in May 2021. It was the latest in a series of skirmishes between Britain and France over fishing rights for shellfish around the Channel Islands. Earlier skirmishes included the 1993 Cherbourg incident between the Royal Navy and French fishermen as a result of a fishing rights dispute in and around the Channel Islands waters. It resulted in a Royal Navy ship being boarded and captured by French fishermen and having their white ensign burned. The Great Scallop War, or Guerre de la Coquille, was fought between British and French fishermen in 2012 in the Channel, with further incidents in 2020 and 2018. In 2021, changes in post-Brexit fishing rights led French fishers to attempt to blockade the Jersey port of St Helier. On 5 May, the UK Prime Minister said any blockade would be completely unjustified and announced that the Royal Navy would send 2 patrol vessels to monitor the waters around Jersey as a precautionary measure. France also sent 2 patrol boats, and the French Maritime Minister reportedly said France was ready to use retaliatory measures, including cutting off the island's power supply from France, a move Britain described as disproportionate and unacceptable. Fishing disputes may seem trivial in a military simulation context, but historically they've sparked major diplomatic rows and minor military clashes, and plenty of near misses along the way. According to Wikipedia, the Salmon War of 1736-37 was a political conflict between the Confederate canton of Basel and the Kingdom of France over fishing rights and the location of their state border in the River Rhine. The Oyster Wars were a series of sometimes violent disputes between oyster pirates and authorities and legal watermen from Maryland and Virginia in the waters of the Chesapeake Bay and the Potomac River from 1865 until about 1959. More recent examples include the 20th century Cod Wars between Britain and Iceland, which put at risk Iceland's membership of NATO, and thus NATO control of the GIUK gap during the Cold War. And the Lobster War, Guerre de l'Agosto or Conflit de la Langouste, was a dispute over spiny lobsters which occurred from 1961 to 1963 between Brazil and France. Thankfully, in real life the Jersey blockade was resolved through negotiations and not by force. We will start with the introduction video, which you may recognise from the trailer. If you haven't seen the trailer, please check it out.
Correspondent Robert Hall reports now from St Helier.
They had left their home ports before dawn, not to fish, but to carry a message to their island neighbours.
That had been provided somehow had got lost in translation.
Beyond the fleet, shrouded in low cloud, visible reassurance from the UK.
As you can see, there are 4 missions in the Jersey Blockade campaign. The first is titled French Blockade Jersey, and we will be playing as the United Kingdom. But we'll start by reading the description for the French player. Le conflit entre le pêcheur français et les Britanniques. For years we have fished for oysters and scallops in the waters around Jersey and the Channel Islands. After Brexit they are trying to stop us. French cuisine is under threat. French culture under assault. We need to send a message to the British. Objectives for the French player: blockade St Helier to protest fisheries rights. We will take our fleet to the port and show them that these are our waters. Stop Britain's shellfish policies. Okay, the description for the British player starts here, but we get to see the full version once we start the game. Okay, Jersey Blockade Mission 1. The description: Skipper, seems like a routine maritime policing mission near Jersey. Launch the helicopter, overfly the fishes, then home in time for tea. The signal here dated 2021 May the 5th at 11 AM from the Admiralty to HMS Defender, subject mission orders. Situation: media reports French protest fleet intends to blockade St Helier harbour in Jersey in post-Brexit fisheries dispute. Her Majesty's government wishes to understand the situation and prevent escalation. Foreign and Commonwealth Office will undertake negotiations if necessary, and French patrol vessel Flamant is believed in location. Our objectives: mission: HMS Defender is to locate the French protest fleet in vicinity of Jersey and conduct helicopter overflight show of force in order to develop situational awareness and prevent escalation. Execution: COORD, AWACS are available from RAF Waddington if required. Rules of engagement: weapons tight, use of force not authorised except in self-defence. Okay, so we're starting the game. Our objective on the top right is to locate and surveil the French protest fleet. The enemy's objective is to blockade St Helier, and we've already had 2 detections, as you can see on the top left of the screen. So we'll move the map down to get Jersey in the centre of the map and have a look around first at HMS Defender, which is a Type 45 destroyer that the UK has dispatched to monitor the situation. So this is the HMS Defender. In the actual scenario, there were 2 smaller vessels, but we've substituted that with 1 larger vessel, the Type 45 destroyer. The next thing we'll want to do is we'll want to launch a helicopter. So we go to the flight deck, select our helicopter types, and we have here in Augusta Westland AW101 Merlin with an ASW profile. Alternatively, we have a Lynx Wildcat with a naval strike profile. I don't think we'll be using the naval strike, so we'll go with the Merlin, put it up into a cruise and a low profile, and launch that to the south to overfly. Firstly, we'll overfly Jersey, I think, and then we'll go and have a look around at various things and then overfly the French fishing fleet. So off the helicopter goes, launching from HMS Defender. And it's heading south, and you can see in the distance ahead of the helicopter there, you can see the island of Jersey, which is its destination. There's Jersey on the horizon. Okay, while we're waiting, we might look around at other assets, and we'll start with RAF Waddington up here in northeastern England. And we'll have a look at what they've got. They've got E3 Sentry AWACS aircraft. They've got 2 of them. And they've also got an aerial refueling aircraft. But what we'll do is we'll launch the AWACS first. We'll move it up to a very high altitude, put it into cruise, and have it patrol an area just north of Portsmouth. And this will just give us a bit of better situational awareness because of the coverage of the radar of the AWACS. So here's the aircraft launching to the north out of RAF Waddington. And obviously it's tracking to the port, tracking port to end up facing to the southwest. So it's an E3 Sentry, you can see travelling almost 900 kilometres an hour and climbing rapidly through 1500 feet at the moment. So that's a very, very capable surveillance platform, and the coverage of the radar of this aircraft will actually cover most of the UK as well as the Channel. So we have a look at the, make sure that it's on, and then we'll switch out and have a look at, there we go, and there's the radar coverage for the AWACS, and you can see it covers not only most of the United Kingdom and Northern Ireland, but also covers the Channel and the areas that we're interested in. So next we'll have a look at HMS Portsmouth, which is located to the northeast of the Isle of Wight. We'll switch it to a view. This is what it looks like, the 3D model in game. We've put Portsmouth in this model, so that's Her Majesty's Naval Base Portsmouth. No embarked aircraft and an airport radar or a civilian radar to give it some situational awareness, but we don't have any ships in port at the moment. So tracking down, we'll now have a look at we'll have a look at Jersey Airport. So this is a civilian airport in Jersey, and that's looking to the east and to the north. back to the east, and you can see across the island of Jersey there. So as you can see, no aircraft, and Jersey Airport has a civilian radar. This is the port of St Helier, which is in the southeast of Jersey Island, and in the background you can see some of the UK fishing fleet. Here we go. Here's a British fishing vessel going about its business peacefully in the port of St Helier, looking for some shellfish probably. And there are 4 ships that we've modelled here in the fleet. Okay, moving on to the French. The French have the port of Cherbourg, which looks to be a bit of a floating port at the moment, but it is what it is. So again, no vessels in port at the moment. We'll look down to the air bases. First base, Aeronavale de Landivisiau, and at the moment no aircraft we're aware of there, but this is traditionally where the fighters, the Rafale M air superiority fighters, would be based at Landivisiau. And if we go down, have a little look at base Aeronavale de Landivisiau, and this is where the maritime surveillance assets would be located, so the Dassault Falcon 200s and any other aircraft that the French would use for maritime surveillance. So here we have the French fishing fleet, the protest fleet, and you can see that there's quite a number of boats who are all headed west to the port to blockade it and make their views known. Okay, and in the centre there you can see the protest leader, and there you go. He can see from his boat, he can already see Jersey, and he can see the port of St Helier that he's tracking towards. So our mission objective was to locate and overfly that French fleet. There's our helicopter tracking to slightly to the west of Jersey, and we'll route it over to go over the airport. Now obviously in real life it's highly unlikely it would directly overfly an airport without certainly contacting air traffic control in advance, but for the sake of argument. Now this is the French patrol vessel Flamant. This is to the southeast of Jersey. Again, real life, the French sent 2 patrol vessels, but we've modelled 1 for simplicity here. And back to the helicopter, tracking towards Jersey Airport. Now we've got him at 450 metres, so it's a good altitude. And remember, part of the mission here is intentionally being seen. It's a bit of a show of force mission, so you want to be seen by as many people as possible. And obviously for the inhabitants of Jersey, it's a very visible reminder that the Royal Navy is there and still looking after them. So there we go, it's overflying the airport and tracking towards the port of St Helier. We'll speed up time a little bit here. There we go, and looking at that, some of that high ground was to our starboard and rear, some of the high ground on the island of Jersey. So overflying that area at slightly higher altitude is better. So again, we'll speed up a little bit, bring the helicopter down in altitude, overfly Jersey, make sure we're seen by as many people as possible. Everybody gets lots of pictures. And here we go, coming up to the port. And we've got the port slightly to our port as it happens, and dead ahead and slightly to the starboard we have the UK's fishing fleet that are just outside of the harbour. There we go, passing them, give them a good look. Here we are. Alright, hello boys and girls. How are you? How are we? Okay, and that's what it looks like from their perspective. Obviously looking from the fishing vessel over to the port and seeing the helicopter going out, doing its business. That's obviously very reassuring for the civilian fishing fleet there. So we're now tracking the helicopter towards the French fishing fleet because our mission again was to locate and surveil, so we want to get some good location information here. We want to Surveil, keep an eye on them, make sure we know what they're doing at all times, and also be able to provide some situational awareness back to UK authorities, civilian authorities in Jersey, and also of course be seen by the fishing fleet itself so that they are aware that we are in the vicinity. It's a very visible deterrent to things getting out of hand. So here we are tracking, and you can see a little discrepancy here between the map and the 3D world as it's modelled. The map of course is showing us flying over open water, whereas that's obviously not open water. We're flying over the island of Jersey. So we'll speed up a little bit again so that we can just get towards the French fleet a little bit faster. Let's have a good look. Okay, there they are. They can definitely see St Helier from where they are now. They're getting very close and definitely within UK waters at the moment. They're definitely within UK waters. So yep, time for a good overflight. Okay, there's the leader. What can they see? Can they see the helicopter? It's just ahead of them. There we go. And here's our helicopter coming over here. Oh yes, there we go. We've got the French fleet. No doubt we're taking a lot of good imagery, and we're capturing some information about their locations of where the fishing vessels are. So we'll get in a little bit closer, and once we've located them, obviously, once we've done a bit of surveillance and a bit of overflight, make sure they know we're here. That's essentially our mission complete, and that will bring to a close the very first mission, French Blockade Jersey, the very first mission of the Jersey Blockade campaign. So here we are, we're overflying, adjust our course ever so slightly. Yep. Make sure that we get a good look at them, but also that they can get a good look at us. And that provides that element of deterrence to make sure nobody does anything silly when they're doing the blockade. Are we coming up to the... There we go. Coming up to the other side of the French fishing fleet now. So now we've got a good idea of the numbers of vessels involved. We're probably getting a lot of imagery of the individual vessels. And obviously being very visible to those vessels in turn. Okay. And coming to the easternmost edge of the French protest fleet here. As I said, having overflown them and conducted our surveillance, that's pretty much our mission. Will be complete before very long. Just check our speed settings. Back to our map. How are we going? There we go. Finish the objective, and well done. So there were 12 minutes 17 in game time, about 16 minutes all up. No one was injured. No one was destroyed. So as always, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. The next video will be coming out at the same time next week. Will be mission number 2. Please, if you like the video, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and consider donating to us. Thank you very much, and see you next time.